What up, fellas? Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. Thank you so much for joining for sort of an emergency live show, if you will. Can somebody please shut off the injuries? Just go into NBA 2K, go into settings, and find the injury slider and just turn them off. Turn the injuries completely off. Because it's not just Kevin Durant. There's a lot of stars who are injured right now. A lot of them. And I think it's just time to turn off the injuries. So thank you, everybody that is joining on in. I'm going to do my best here to try to keep you guys from melting down. If that hasn't happened already. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people on Suns Twitter that are melting down and the season's over and all that stuff. It's not like that, Suns fans. This is going to be a very optimistic kind of show. So if that's not your thing, if you're just a negative Nelly and everything's doom and gloom, this is probably not going to be the show for you. Welcome to Suns Geek, because I'm very positive and I stay optimistic about my basketball team. So yeah, you guys, the news came out probably a few hours ago. I was working on some stuff. I was packing and moving and all that because you guys know I'm in the middle of a move right now. And I'm like, I'll just go live later tonight. We'll talk about it. But here is the news, Suns fans. Shams Charania. I'm so used to saying that Shams is from The Athletic, but he is now with ESPN. But yeah, Shams Charania. Hopefully you guys can see this right here. Just go like that. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Shams Charania is reporting. Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant, who has been off to an MVP caliber start to the season, which he absolutely has, suffered a left calf strain and on Friday night and will miss. I can't read his tweet, but he's saying that he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Sources tell ESPN Durant has led the Suns to a first place start in the Western Conference. I also realized that I spelt cap wrong. It's supposed to be calf in my thing, so I'm going to fix that in a minute here. I completely was not paying attention earlier. But either way, it's a cap strain. It's a strain injury. It sucks. So I'm literally going to fix this live. You guys are going to watch me do this. Not that that really matters, but either way, he is going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Why did I put cap strain? It's calf strain. There we go. I just fixed it. Okay, cool. Anyways. So I want to make sure I'm not missing anything from his story. And if you guys are looking on the screen right now, he did put out a small story on this. I just want to make sure there was nothing that I'm missing. But one thing I do want to read to you guys here is where he says the future wow, I can't read or talk right now. My apology, guys. The future Hall of Famer has had a strong start to the season, averaging 27.6 points per game while leading the Suns to first place in the Western Conference with an 8-1 record. He and Nikola Jokic are the only players this season shooting 55% from the field and 40% from three while averaging at least 25 points per game. And speaking of Kevin Durant, I always get his last name wrong, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it again. Evan Sidiri, however you want to pronounce it. Kevin Durant is once again putting up incredible numbers. 27.6 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1.4 blocks on 67% true shooting and shooting nearly 43% from the field. He tweeted this out last night before the injury was announced. And apparently this injury happened, I think, midway through the fourth quarter last night. I don't know if he came up hobbling or wasn't right. I don't know what happened. I don't know when it happened, but apparently it happened in last night's game. But there was a clip going around where after the game, Kevin Durant was walking to the locker room and he talked to one of the NBA social media people and right? So it's not like this was like, oh, Kevin Durant's off to the locker room. He's not going to return. I'm just trying to stay positive about this, you guys, because look, I want to sort of give Suns fans here a reality check that this is not last year's team. This is not the 2023-24 Phoenix Suns. This is the 2024-25 Suns. We are a deeper roster. We are well coached. We have, I know Kevin Durant's injured, but we have 3 superstars on this team. And without KD now, we have 2 superstars on this team. And I know a lot of you guys, for some reason, are questioning and are worried about Devin Armani Booker when you really shouldn't be. We have 2 superstars, great coaching, and a deep roster to get us through these next 2 weeks. And in Shams Charania's report, he says Kevin Durant will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. And that's sort of the key thing there. So yes, he will be out. But I think the Phoenix Suns will be okay for the next 2 weeks. Now, I tweeted this out earlier, and I really want Suns fans to sort of listen to me here. And I want to make sure I'm going to pull up my own tweet here, but I pretty much said that starting off the season 8-1 in a very loaded Western Conference. Hopefully you guys can see my tweet right there. Starting off 8-1 is absolutely huge because, spoiler alert, the Western Conference is absolutely loaded this year. And every win matters. So the fact that the Suns sort of have a head start in terms of standings, like in the standings race in the wins category, is huge. Now, we face some tough teams. We'll go over the schedule in a little bit because there's other things I want to cover after we talk about Katie's injury and everything. We'll go over the schedule and the standings, and I'll try to answer your guys' questions and comments because there's actually a question that somebody asked me yesterday that I do want to get to. But Katie will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and I first off hope that he comes back stronger, healthier, and I hope that we will continue our winning ways when he comes back. And when they say reevaluated, it doesn't mean like Kevin Durant's coming back in 14 days. It just means they're going to sort of have a timeline, like a more of an update on his injury. Who knows? We could even hear something in a week. But again, being reevaluated in 2 weeks. So we're going to have to wait 14 days and we'll see what happens. But I hope that Kevin Durant's okay. Now, real quick. Dwayne Rankin had a few tweets earlier. And unfortunately, it's not just Kevin Durant here. At the time of this recording, now Dwayne Rankin put this out at 6:34 p.m. today on November 9th. So Kevin Durant is out with the left calf strain. Colin Gillespie, who's with the G League team, is out with the left ankle sprain. But sort of the big one here, in my personal opinion, Yusuf Nurkic is out, or excuse me, is questionable, not out. He is questionable with left ankle soreness. And Ryan Dunn is probable. So that's also where I'm kind of staying optimistic here, is Ryan Dunn. Now, if this is the tweet that I think I got, let me just make sure I'm getting this right. So, yeah. So Dwayne Rankin also tweeted this out. This was before the KD injury news happened. Phoenix Suns had a light practice today, but Mike Budenholzer said Ryan Dunn, out with the ankle injury, quote, did everything. He's progressing and is expected to play Sunday versus Sacramento. And then Dwayne Rankin writes, sees the same for Bradley Beal elbow and Devin Booker illness. So it looks like Ryan Dunn is coming back. And right on time, because Kevin Durant is a good defender. Yes, even at 36 years old, Kevin Durant is a great defender, but we could use all the defense we could get. So Ryan Dunn coming back tomorrow would be absolutely huge. And I've seen some people talk about this on Twitter, and some people like DM me and stuff, and just conversations that I'm in. But maybe this is Bol Bol's moment now. Maybe we can finally see Bol Bol for the first time this season. That would be huge too. Because we all know Bol Bol, so much potential and talent and size and wingspan, could really help us out. And it would be the first time that we would see Bol Bol in a Mike Budenholzer system outside of preseason stuff. I'm not expecting Bol Bol to like play tomorrow and drop like 15 points, 10 boards, 5 blocks. That's probably not going to happen. But if he can be productive out there, play some good defense, and contribute, I want to see what Bol Bol can do. So this Kevin Durant injury obviously is not fun. But this is where I want to continue to be optimistic, Suns fans. Because yes, injuries suck. And I'm sure all of the Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson stans are like clapping and cheering right now and saying, you should have never traded Kevin Durant and we should have kept our glorious twins because of vibes. But this is where I'm going to get a little positive. And I hope this doesn't come off as like a negative. But y'all, literally, so if I share my screen again, we go back to the Shams Charania story. It's on ESPN right now. You finish reading the story. Look what the next, or I thought it was there a minute ago, but there was something on. Yeah, here it goes. So if you scroll down a little bit, the next story is Ja Morant, week to week with hip injury. Oh, and it's not just that, Suns fans. I think the Grizzlies have other injuries, but DeJounte Murray's been out for a while. Paolo Banchero's been out for a while. Zion Williamson is out indefinitely. And there's like probably like 5 or 6 other notable players or stars in this league that are out. The Grizzlies have a bunch of injuries. The Pelicans have a bunch of injuries. I guess Anthony Davis is out now. Like, turn off the injuries. And now, look, let's be real. Every team is going to deal with injuries, but it would just be so fun to have one full season and one full playoffs where 30 teams are 90% healthy, you know? Wouldn't that just be amazing? Because then you can't use the whole like, oh, well, if this player was healthy, we would have won. Can't use that argument, you know? So I'm just trying to stay optimistic. This is a deeper Phoenix Suns team than it was before. And speaking of that, I was going to talk about this in some previous live shows, but I kind of just overlooked it. I screen capped this for you guys. Now, remember, this was, I believe, after our 3rd or 4th game. For some reason, this quote stood out to me. And this is Kevin Durant talking here. Kevin Durant said, and I quote, so this comes from Arizona Sports, by the way, but now, again, we were 3-1 at the time of this, quote. This was after we beat the Lakers. So the Phoenix Suns are 3-1 with plenty to improve on after the 109-105 win on Monday over the Lakers. Again, this was from a while ago. And their ability to win through that with real resolve speaks to the potential this group has. Let me repeat that last part. So a win over the Los Angeles Lakers. And their ability to win through that with real resolve speaks to the potential this group has. This one could have gone south quickly, as it did a whole lot last season. Now, this is the Kevin Durant quote. Kevin Durant says, and I quote, I'm sure everybody's watching the game and I'm sure everybody's watching the game and all they could think about was last season and how we were down early and had some slow starts, Kevin Durant said. I love how we cut the lead down quick. shows our poise. It shows that defensively we stayed together. And that is my point, you guys. This is not last year's Phoenix Suns team. This is not the 2023-24 Phoenix Suns. This is not the Frank Vogel coached Phoenix Suns. This is not the Suns team that didn't have a point guard last year. And remember earlier when I said people have been questioning Devin Booker and are concerned about Devin Booker? This is now Devin Booker's time to just shut up all the haters, shut up all the critics, and to really step up, which I know he's going to do. And I love Bradley Beal. And I still make that Bradley Beal trade over and over again. That might sound like an unpopular opinion, but I do, because that was a great trade. You're not going to get a Bradley Beal type player like that all the time, unless you play NBA 2K, because on NBA 2K, you can do lots of trades like that. But this is now Bradley Beal's time to say, hey, I was worth this trade. I'm worth the $50 million you're paying me. This is their time to step up, be the leaders for this team, be the superstars for this team. And it's time for them to prove it. And it's time for us, or not us, it's time for the Suns team, all of them, to prove that they are really championship contenders and are an elite team in this league. It's time for the next man up. Now, I've seen some discussion who should start in place of Kevin Durant. Is it Royce O'Neale? Is it Ryan Dunn? I think you might want to go with experience here. That's at least what I would do anyways. If I was Mike Budenholzer coaching this team, I would probably start Royce O'Neale. By the way, we're going to have a small segment on Royce O'Neale later because he's been fantastic. I talked about that a lot last night after the game. But I understand if they would go with Ryan Dunn too. And now that KD's going to be out for 2 weeks, I wonder if we're going to see a lot of like Bradley Beal goes to the bench 5 minutes in, and then he comes back with a second unit to kind of sort of balance out the roster, if you will. I could see that possibly. But again, next man up mentality. This team's deep. We haven't even seen Monte Morris in a couple of games. Maybe we see more, like, who am I forgetting? Like Bol. Maybe we see more Oso Ighodaro. Like, I don't know. The lineups and rotations are going to be interesting. And it is going to be a game-to-game basis, in my opinion. Because love or hate Frank Vogel, love or hate Monty Williams, I think they did a great job of, like, playing certain players based off matchups. So it's going to be interesting. And we're going to, later in the show, we're going to kind of focus on the upcoming games throughout these next 2 weeks and, stuff like that. But I am not panicking. And I hope that this live show will kind of get some of you guys down to earth a little bit and calm you guys down. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people panicking. Our season's over because Kevin Durant's going to be out for 2 weeks. When in reality, that's not the case. We are 8-1. We're 8-1, and there's still people complaining about the Suns team, which that's going to be a segment for later, by the way. That's going to be my worst of the week segment. So speaking of Kevin Durant's injury, a couple more tweets I want to react to. John Gambadoro, who is very plugged in with the Phoenix Suns, and take this tweet as you will. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right here. Sorry, you guys. So John Gambadoro tweeted this out. Can you guys see that okay? Let me zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So yeah, John Gambadoro tweets out, injured it during the second half. Not bad. He will be fine. Out 2 to 3 weeks is the most likely scenario. They won't rush him back. That's John Gambadoro, Arizona Sports, longtime covering this team and Arizona sports in general. has connections and sources, and he's gotten a lot of stuff right over the years. I trust John Gambadoro. So he's saying 2 to 3 weeks is the most likely scenario. They won't rush him back. And speaking of that 2 to 3 weeks, I saw a tweet from Dwayne Rankin earlier. Now, this is the timeline, or I guess you could say, I'm sorry, I just lost my, I guess you could say this is what the guesstimate timeline is. Why can't I find this? Sorry, guys. Actually, it's not even a guesstimate. I guess it's just an actual fact. I guess as Dwayne Rankin tweeted it, or wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, okay, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing it. I'm tired, y'all. Like, I had a long day today. But anyways, the timetable, that's the word I was thinking of. Sorry, guys, my bad. This is the timetable. This isn't a guesstimate. This is the actual timetable based off of the report that came out today. So Dwayne Rankin tweets out, based off the timetable, Kevin Durant will miss 7 games in 11 days for the Phoenix Suns. So speaking of the schedule, we might as well dive into it now. Tomorrow we play the Sacramento Kings. They're 5-4. Tuesday we play the Utah Jazz, who are 1-7. Let's please not make that a close game. Like, I know that the Jazz are young and scrappy and all that, but like, let's please not go into the fourth quarter like fighting them off. Let's please maybe rest some of our starters in that game. Wednesday we play the Kings again. Friday we play the very good, talented Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to be a big game. Even if Kevin Durant was healthy, that's going to be a big game. Sunday we play the Wolves. November 18th, we play the Magic. And even though Paolo Banchero's injured, they are a very good team, even though they've kind of been struggling since his injury. And then November 20th, we play Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and the New York Knicks. So that's the schedule. 7 games in 11 days. That's nuts. We pretty much play like every other day. That's crazy. And people are saying in the chat, Tuesday is a cup game. So is Friday a cup game? I don't know. We'll check out the real schedule later, but you guys are probably right. So that's a lot of games, y'all. That is a lot of games. The Suns have to be ready. Next man up mentality. This is the time to really prove that the Suns have better leadership, that the Suns have a better roster, that the Suns are a true championship contender. This is the time, y'all. And even though it's still really early in the season, it might be like injuries suck, obviously, and there's never a good time for them. But like, I would rather have KD be out now than later. You know what I mean? And that's why I said at the very start of the show, like, we're 8-1. And those 7 games that we won in a row, that's going to help us down the road in the standings, especially when the Western Conference really starts to take shape. And, you know, we know who's legit. We know who the pretenders are, stuff like that. Okay. Also, for anybody who cares, take this as you will. I noticed this tweet, but Eddie Gonzalez, who is one of Kevin Durant's good friends, I think they had a podcast a long time ago. He's Banksy on Twitter. He tweeted out this, Buddy Good. Now, I don't know if that means like Buddy Hield is really good or if that meant Kevin Durant is good. I took it as Kevin Durant is good. Take that as you will. Take it with a grain of salt. I just thought that was worth noting. Anyways. Okay, guys. Unless you have a comment, question, concern about Katie's injury, we are going to kind of go to some other Suns-related stuff that I wanted to talk about. But quick, friendly reminder, you guys, absolutely crush that like button. Share the show. it tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job around here. It helps support me and the channel, and I would really appreciate it. I'm just going to kind of go down the comments real quick and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Slayer's Icon says, yeah, the injury is sad, but you could either be negative and never move on or look at the positives where we can test our depth for Book and Beal to get it going. Something we need, and this is good. I agree with that a lot. Nikola says, could be great. Could be a great thing if Booker finds his rhythm. I agree. Mark says, injuries are opportunities for the other guys. I look forward to seeing the adjustments. Exactly. That's what basketball is, y'all. It's just a series of adjustments and the next man up mentality. Okay, let's see. Skilly says, KD is out for my birthday. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Mary, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And Mary's comment here, I understand what you're saying. I think Kevin Durant was playing too many minutes. I get it. But, like, KD wants to play those minutes. I know that sounds crazy. Some of you guys are probably like, no, he doesn't. He's 36 years old. He should be resting. Well, if you've paid attention to what Kevin Durant has said over the last, 2 years he's been here, he wants to play. The guy wants to play. Now, sure, there's been some games where he should have been on the bench and the starter should have been resting. Sure, but that's basketball. It's a game full of runs. But also that's why we're 7-0 in the clutch, and I will take that record over our starters resting. As crazy as that sounds, I will take being 7-0 in the clutch, a better fourth quarter team than our starters resting. I know that sounds crazy, but my point being Kevin Durant wants to play. Because you guys remember how terrible of a fourth quarter team we were last year? Remember how terrible we were in the clutch last year? Danger says, Book about to join the MVP race after this. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Brent says, people need to leave Booker alone. He will be fine. Exactly. I don't know where all this Booker stuff is coming from, man. It just needs to stop. Devin Booker will be fine, y'all. Jason, I appreciate you being here, man. Okay. Now I'm just double checking. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. Again, if you guys got a comment, question, let me know. I'll try to get to it. And like I said, there was a question yesterday that I might want to get to. I'll do my best. If not, I'll do it in a future live show. Okay. Let's talk about more Suns news, y'all. At least what I call, quote, Suns news. Okay. So I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I just feel like this is just worth noting real quick. Shout out to AZ Sports Zone, one of my favorite follows on Twitter. I actually sat next to him during media day. It was awesome. But he had a great tweet right here. And again, this tweet should serve as another reminder that this is not last year's Phoenix Suns team. He says, the Suns bench outscored the Mavericks 28-9. As a team, they only committed 9 turnovers. These are not last year's Suns. We had 28 bench points. I think we only played 5 or 6 guys, maybe just 5. And they had 28 bench points. And we only had 9 turnovers. This is not last year's Phoenix Suns team. And speaking of last night's game, I was singing Royce O'Neale's praises, and I'm going to continue to do it because look at this tweet, y'all. Great tweet from Cody here, who says, good morning. Royce O'Neale is the only bench player in the NBA with at least 20 threes, 8 blocks, and 6 steals this season. Every other player with those totals has started every game. O'Neale has the highest true shooting percentage among these players. And he put the hashtag 6th man of the year. So I'll pull up the graphic that he has here. Comes from Basketball Reference, and I'll reread you the tweet. Royce O'Neale is the only bench player in the NBA with at least 20 threes, 8 blocks, and 6 steals this season. Every other player with those totals has started every game. O'Neal has the highest true shooting percentage among those players. And you want to know who those players are? Let's read it, shall we? Royce O'Neal's teammate, Kevin Durant. Derek White, who was a really good player for the Celtics. An Olympian, an NBA champion, Derek White. Jalen Suggs, who's a really solid defender and a really good player for the Orlando Magic. James Harden, Kevin Durant's former teammate. One of the best scorers of all time, James Harden. And Jeremy Grant, who starts for the Blazers and probably should get traded, but I think he actually wants to stay there for some reason. But anyways. So shout out to Royce O'Neale, man. He has just been fantastic. Like, I don't know how else to analyze it, to break it down. But for a guy like Royce O'Neale, and I guess it's really in the eye of the beholder, you just have to just watch him. Just his defense, his confidence in shooting threes, the hustle plays that he does, the sometimes springy offensive rebounds, the smart decision making has just been huge all season long. He's been great. And I just want to continue to sing his praises because he deserves it. And I don't know. He's been awesome. Okay, guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up the Suns schedule. I know we kind of already went over the Suns schedule, but we're going to kind of just pull it up. Maybe we'll do a quick standings watch. And then we're going to kind of get to the sort of worst of the week, if you will, or worst tweet of the night or whatever. I don't know. I got to figure out a segment with it. But let's get to the schedule here. Okay. Let's see. Let me just share this. Let's see. Boom. Okay, here we go. Boom. Here we go. So this is from the Suns website. Also, what's cool is they're showing what jerseys we'll be wearing. So I think you guys were right about the Cup game, but so yeah, tomorrow we play the Sacramento Kings, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll be wearing the purple jerseys against Sacramento Kings. And I know their record isn't great, but the Kings are a pretty good team. And Domantas Sabonis is one of the more, it's crazy to say this, but like, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA. Like, I think recently he had one of the best triple doubles ever. And the dude he's just so damn good. I remember a long time ago, I made a video about Domantas Sabonis asking if we should trade for him. And so many people said no. I was like, why? Like, he's an awesome player. Anyways, that Kings game tomorrow is going to be tough. Tuesday, it's a cup night. So I'm assuming that's an in-season tournament game or NBA Cup game, whatever you want to say. I don't know. Versus the Utah Jazz. They're young, they're scrappy, but their record is terrible. I don't get what the Jazz are doing. I know this is the Sun show, but the Jazz have really smart like leadership in their front offices. I believe Danny Ainge, I think, is their GM. Last time I checked or whatever. They have a lot of young talent. They have Lauri Markkanen, who's also a really underrated player. And yet they're 1-7. Like, are you tanking? Or are you in the Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, the stacked 2025 draft? Or are you going to like sell off all of your pieces and then build around Lauri Markkanen and whatever good draft pick you can get? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the Jazz are doing, but they're 1-7. We need to win these winnable games. And against the Jazz, that's one of them. Especially with Kevin Durant going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. That is a winnable game. Then on Wednesday, so it's back-to-back. So we literally play 3 games in like 4 days. The only day off being Monday. Play the Kings again. Thursday we're off. Friday we play the Thunder, and that's a in-season tournament game. Sunday versus the Wolves. Monday versus the Magic. I'm telling you guys, that's a back-to-back, but don't sleep on that Orlando Magic team. Don't let their record fool you. The Magic are a very well-coached team. They are a good team with or without Paolo Banchero. Then we play the Knicks. Then we play the Lakers, who, even though they've kind of been struggling lately, the Lakers seem to play very well against us, whether it's preseason or not. Then here's another winnable game, even though I think they've actually sort of overachieved so far, the Brooklyn Nets. I want to just make sure, because last time I checked, they were beating the 10-0 Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's see if they won. Did they win? Hold on, let's go to scores. Oh, wow, the Cavaliers won. They won by 5. Holy crap. But still, the Nets were beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're beating them for a minute, but the Cavs came back and won. By the way, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 11-0, which is nuts. So shout out to them. But either way, that Brooklyn game is a winnable game. Then we play the Warriors. They're off to a great start of the season. Then to enter December, we play the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wemby. So the schedule's not easy, y'all. But as somebody a long time ago in my chat reminded me, I remember it was after the Dallas Mavericks completely blew us out, and we ran it back, and it was the schedule release day, and I was kind of panicking. I was kind of over worrying, and somebody in my chat said, "Sons Geek, these teams have to play us too," and that sort of humbled me and reminded me. So I like to share that same thing to you guys, even though a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Suns are going to end up with this record, and we're going to lose this game." Blah blah blah, y'all. These teams have to play us too. They have to find out a game plan to stop Devin Booker. They have to find a game plan to stop Bradley Beal and Royce O'Neale and all of our other guys, Tyus Jones, and our offense that has been humming this year, that has been great this year. These teams have to play us too. And as I said at the very start of this show, the Suns are not the only injured team in the NBA. There's a lot of injuries. I probably skipped like 10 injuries when I was talking earlier. So many players are injured right now, and it sucks. If you're a real basketball fan, you want the best players on the court at the same time. You want to see what talent this league has. And sure, like, yeah, I wish the Suns could have an easy schedule and just roll through teams and kind of just take it easy until the playoffs. But like at the same time, I kind of don't. I want to see what this team is made of. Yeah, and danger reminds me right here. Plus, Embiid is out with his suspension. That's the thing, Suns fans. I don't want to hear no Suns fans complaining because things could be so much worse. Have you guys seen what is going on with the Philadelphia 76ers? Forget the Joel Embiid stuff. Obviously, he pushed that reporter and all that, yada, yada, yada. But he was out with an injury, which from what I saw, there was some like weird reporting around his injury. And then Paul George was out for a while. He made his return against the Suns. And I think Tyrese Maxey's now out. Like, and like Caleb Martin, I think, was injured or still is injured. Like, what is going on in Philly? And that sucks because a lot of my YouTube friends, people that I call friends in real life, cover that team. They do great work on YouTube. My guy, Romp 2.0, Philly Take with RB, DJ Eastwood. And they're all pissed. Like, I don't want to hear no Suns fans complaining. So, everybody just take a deep breath. Okay, we're going to do this together. Okay, ready? Breathe in and out. Let me take a sip of my water, y'all. Delicious. Okay. So, we're going to, I hate to do this, y'all. And I want to make sure this actually works. Because last time I did the worst of the week thing, the the like sound didn't play. I don't know if it's going to play. I can't even find the clip. Hold on. Let's see. Give me a second here, you guys. I apologize. I should have done this before the show. Let me just type this in. Let's make sure this works. Well, okay, whatever. I'll update it later. But this is going to be the worst of the week segment. Speaking of fans complaining, this is more of like a worst tweet of the night, if you will. But I'm still going to put it under the worst of the week category. And I'm not going to lie, I do follow this account, but I'm not like glued to them. And I kind of want to unfollow, to be honest, because of this tweet. But when you cover the team like I do, you got to pretty much stay on top of everything Suns related. And unfortunately, this tweet was trending in the wrong way. So Twitter user Dub Suns or at Dub Suns tweets this out. And this isn't the whole reason I was saying people are questioning Devin Booker. Trust me, I'm in a lot of group chats. There's a lot of people in the group chats that are questioning Devin Booker, and I've seen other things around it, but this just kind of proves my point. But this guy tweets out, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal both have been trash. He actually used those words. Booker and Beal both have been trash for the majority of this season. Very, very disappointing that both of the, quote, young superstars who should be in their primes are doing nothing every game while a 36-year-old KD is coming off of a torn Achilles has to carry. This tweet right here is a friendly reminder, even though I love Suns Twitter and I love being on Twitter because it helps me stay up to date with the latest Suns news, which helps you guys stay up with the latest Suns news. This is a friendly reminder to stay off of Suns Twitter because you're going to see a lot of crap like this. He's calling Devin Booker and Bradley Beal trash. And you're probably like, okay, Suns Geek, that's just a troll response. You know, he got you. You know, you're feeding the troll, Suns Geek. It wasn't just me, y'all. Let's look at some of these replies. There's so many people that responded to this. Casual Sports, who was also at Media Day, responded to it, saying this is not accurate. I saw Brandon Clean of Locked On Suns respond to it. My guy John from the Suns Jam Session podcast responded, saying, you don't know ball. And then I love this tweet. I retweeted it. And I hope I'm saying his name right. Dana Scott, I hope I pronounced your name right, with a great tweet. And this was a response to this terrible tweet. But he said, this app is for anger by any means. Suns have the NBA's second best win streak, 7 atop of the loaded West over the vaunted, did I say that right? OKC 8-1. Compared to a year ago, at this time when the Suns were 4-5. But some Suns fans will still find something wrong. Laugh and love thy neighbor. And yes, that was a response, as you can see, to this tweet right here. And it was a great tweet. This app is for anger by any means necessary. A year ago, the Suns were 4-5, and some Suns fans will still find something wrong. Laugh and love thy neighbor. Amen. That's a great tweet. And I saw some other great tweets. I was retweeting it all the time. And as Michael says right here, a lot of Suns fans today are just super negative for no reason. Exactly. I don't get it, y'all. So that tweet right there is the worst of the week. It's the worst tweet of the night. And even though the sound won't play, I'm going to play my little drop that I made in like 5 minutes. There was supposed to be like a sound effect. There was supposed to be like some kind of sound, but I got to go back and edit it and fix it. And maybe I'll make that drop a little better. Okay, guys. I think that's it for now. If you have like actually, let's do one more segment. One more segment. So if you got comments, questions, concerns, get them in now. And I don't mean to sound negative with this next subject, but it was a question that somebody asked me. in yesterday's show. And I think it's fair. I think it's okay to talk about this stuff. So somebody asked me yesterday, and it's funny that the person asked me because I had this in my notes and I was ready to talk about it. So yes, I will be reading off some notes that I have taken. Now, I want you to remember that every game is different. And I want you to remember that we are still very early in this NBA season. So don't take what I'm going to say here and be like, Suns Geek, you're so negative and blah, 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 blah. I'm just telling you guys what I saw. So somebody yesterday asked me, what do I think the Phoenix Suns need to work on? And I'm not going to spend too much time on every answer here. And Derek, I see your question. I kind of sort of answered it. We'll just get to Derek's question real quick. What do you think, or when do you think Kevin Durant will suit up? Let's just see where we're at after the 2 weeks. It might even be 3 weeks until he suits up again. So 14 days, we'll see where he's at. I'll keep you guys updated once we get like some real news. But anyways, so to answer the question from yesterday, what do I think the Phoenix Suns need to work on? The short answers. These are things that I've seen in the first 9 games. Holding on to leads can be very tricky in today's NBA because a 20-point lead, which the Suns have had a few of those, can be gone like that. That's just because the NBA nowadays is so fast-paced, run and gun, shoot a lot of threes, you know. So, but, and I feel, with that being said, I feel like every team has trouble holding on to the leads. And that's sort of my point, though, is like, I think the Suns need to clean that up a little because, for example, I talked about this yesterday. Remember when we played the Blazers? That probably should have been a game where the starters rested. There's been a lot of games this season, like kind of last night, where we had a lead and it evaporated. The Suns, and I think all other 29 NBA teams need to do a better job of holding on to the lead, is what I'm trying to say. And the elite teams will do that. The championship contenders will do that. The Suns can prove that with or without KD. Hopefully without him, because that way we can really prove that we're an elite team. And I think this is a fair criticism. Even though I think defensive rating-wise, we're a really good defensive team. I think Mike Budenholzer's talked about this. Kevin Durant's talked about this a few times. Even though the defense was really good last night, I think the defense can get even better. And that's sort of my optimism. Even though I just criticized the Suns, I think that's a fair statement. The defense can get better, but yet it's been pretty fantastic. And what team doesn't want to improve on defense? Also, rebounding. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I could probably look them up, but that's boring. But the rebounding could be better. There's been times where the Suns have given up 3 straight possessions in a row, like 3 straight offensive rebounds. The rebounding could be much better. This team has to learn to gang rebound, as they call it. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I do want to see a few games, especially without KD, where we can rest our starters. And then obviously the turnovers. Turnovers have been pretty good as of late. I mean, we had 9 last night, but you can always clean up the turnovers. That's kind of it, though. I mean, what have we been saying? At least what have I been saying on my channel in last night's live show, in the previous video I made, that this team isn't even playing their best basketball, and yet we're 8-1. This team is not playing their best basketball, and we're 8-1. And we can still have a good record even without KD, y'all. Okay, guys. Let's see. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. What is going on in the chat, y'all? Danger says, Do you think we need more height on defense since Nurkic can't elevate or swat small players that shoot over him? Yeah, but like, who are you going to go get? That's been the sort of topic of discussion around Yusuf Nurkic. I know for some reason a lot of people hate Yusuf Nurkic, even though I think he's been pretty good for us most of the season. He was one of our best players last season. But everybody's like, oh, I can hop on the trade machine and just automatically do this trade and the Suns will be good, when in reality it doesn't work like that. We have Oso Ighodaro. We have Mason Plumlee. Do we need to play them more? I think Nurk competes on defense. I think he does. I just think the numbers don't show it. So, I don't know. I appreciate that. Mr. Nasty One. I'm assuming that's a Steve Nash reference, so salute to you. This guy is trying to be positive so he can keep people watching his channel. Hey, man, what am I supposed to do, y'all? The world is a negative place. Suns Twitter is a negative place. Half of the Suns videos that I see are like, well, at least some of them are clickbait. Like, the Suns are in danger, and the Suns are this, and the Suns are that. Like, y'all, like, what do you want me to do? Come on, man. I got to stay positive because nobody else will do it, y'all. That's my hot take. That's my clickbait of this show. I stay positive for y'all because there's not many other Suns channels and podcasts that do it. So anyways. Okay. I think that's it, y'all. Harlan Vega says it perfect, too, about Nurkic. Nurk has been one of the few players that hasn't been hurt. Exactly, especially last season. And last season when he was, we had a pretty bad record and we struggled in games without Nurkic. Do we need more Bol? How did I forget Bol when I was talking about that earlier? Yeah, we need more Bol, y'all. I agree. Michael says, well done, Suns. Well said, Suns Geek. Thanks, man. Anyways, y'all. I think that's it, you guys. If you missed last night's live show, first off, go check out that live show and watch till the very end because I give you some life updates. But yeah, we're busy over here, you guys. We're packing. We are moving back to Arizona. I cannot believe it. I'm super thrilled. And I'm going to do my best to bring you all the latest Phoenix Suns news that I can and the positive Phoenix Suns news because there's so much negativity in the world and on Suns Twitter and on Suns YouTube. I'm going to try to bring you the most positive Suns news that I can because nobody else will do it, y'all. So just stay tuned, you guys. I know that as of late, I haven't uploaded as much as I'd like to, but again, that's because I've been busy moving and things have just been crazy. But I promise you guys, I'm still going to pump out the best Phoenix Suns content that I possibly can. And I just appreciate everybody's support. Like the fact that there's 82 people watching me right now is incredible. So again, you guys, if you want to help support me, the best way to do that, first off, is one, to keep watching. Like, yeah, I want you to subscribe because we're on the road to 10K subscribers. But at the end of the day, y'all, like YouTube just wants you to keep watching. So even if you hate my face and you hate my positivity, keep watching or keep listening. That really helps. But I have to do the cliche YouTube stuff. Seriously, guys, crush that like button and share the show. All you got to do is just go on YouTube, click share, and tag me. Tag me in it. That would help too. I'll feature it on my story. Share the show, tag me, tweet me, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, Twitter. The ticker is trending down there. Follow me on socials. Would really appreciate it. And just keep watching at the end of the day, y'all. Danger says, Arizona, congrats. We get to see some local footage when you go to games or to Phoenix. Exactly. That's what I talked about yesterday, Danger. My goal is to my goal is to double or even triple my content when I live in Arizona again, which hopefully is going to be soon, y'all. That's my goal. And I hope to do some more media stuff because I have done media stuff with the Suns. I hope to do more again. But just go to games, film footage, do podcasts in person with other Suns channels, you know what I mean? And film vlogs. I did mention yesterday how I want to start a second channel. That's definitely going to happen. That's going to be more of like the personal side of me and more like fun stuff. But it's going to be content crazy, y'all. So last comment before we get out of here. Tyus Booker done Oso Nurk. I love it, but can I throw a Bol into the mix there? How about a Tyus Booker done Bol maybe and Nurk? But I see the vision though. Mary, I appreciate you being here. She says, good night, Geek. All right, y'all. For real this time, that's it. I'm done. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do my best to improve these live shows. And as always, I'm going to try to bring you the best Phoenix Suns content possible, the most positive Phoenix Suns content possible, because that's what we do here. We stay positive. We stay optimistic on this channel. So God bless you guys. I love y'all. Stay safe out there. Be nice to people. And no matter who plays for this Phoenix Suns team, no matter what our record is, win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. Peace out. God bless. And go Suns. Probably see you guys tomorrow after the Kings game. I'll do a video or a live show. Peace. Appreciate the support, Harlan Vega. Eric, I'll do some version of that.
What's up, Suns?